Howie Roseman making another big move is as likely as the sun coming out tomorrow or them Dallas Cowboys with the satanic star on their helmets sacrificing chickens. Get your axe sharpened because we back, baby.
You want a war? You're gonna get one.
What was that? He had enough time for one more play.
He had an opportunity to win that game again.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys game.
You
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. He had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks. We back! Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. You know, Howie Roseman making another significant move is just about as likely as the sun coming up tomorrow or the Dallas Cowboys with the satanic star on their helmet sacrificing more chickens to try to hopefully win and then still losing because they stink. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, still the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you for all the support you give to me. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back home. Love going on vacation. I love the beach. I can live at the beach, but man, after a week, man, I'm ready to come home. And the trip from here to OBX to the Outer Banks is like 3,000 miles, man. We got home late Saturday night and Sunday morning, really. And then yesterday, man, I didn't feel like doing anything. I slept in, just was like a walking zombie trying to recover from jet lag. I think my whole family was just really tired. So today we're back making videos. And then tomorrow, regular schedule, work returns, and here we go. We still have like a month before the Eagles even start training camp. So I'll probably take a couple days off again, like around July or whatever. This was the first time I went more than like 2 days without doing a video. I think I did 6 days without doing a video. I had a couple that I did from the beach because I just wanted to have some record of doing something from the beach. And then I took really 6 days off of filming. So it feels good to be back. I needed it. And yeah, now it's time to get ready for the season. I got a lot of behind-the-scenes work to do. I want to make another filming area, so I'm going to have multiple filming areas. All that stuff's bullshit. You don't want to hear it. Who cares? Just do it, right? I got you. Now, in this video, what I want to talk about is two things. The first thing, we've got to talk about Howie Roseman. You know, during the week when I was on vacation, I get a lot of different, like, people DMing me, do a story on this, do a video on this. And I just wasn't filming, but I did get one yesterday. Shout out to Brandon. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to talk about this because I kind of was going to talk about this anyways. But Brandon sends me something, and the rumor is that Howie Roseman still has another significant move to make. I think this is like as likely as the sun coming up. I mean it. Or Dallas Cowboy fans sacrificing chickens, especially Mark Holmes, who, by the way, I text the guy, Happy Father's Day. He texts back, Happy Father's Day, war's coming. War's coming. Oh, yeah, we're so scared of the Cowboys. Oh, boy, I can't wait to beat that team's butt this year. It's going to be glorious. But, you know, Howie Roseman making another move, especially when you have roster spots open, is likely, okay? So he, Brandon, shout out to him. He sent me this. Rumor, Howie Roseman is, quote, going to find something, and it's only a matter of time before the Eagles make a move, per Derek Gunn. And then it says, the Eagles have been known to make moves in August. C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade, Rager trade, Ronald Darby trade, and I would expect some movement during preseason. This is the most, definite thing that you possibly could. Of course Howie Roseman's going to make a move. The question is not if Howie's going to make a move. The question is, What is the move going to be? That is the question, because we don't know. Oftentimes, we have guys that we think, oh, the Eagles should pursue this guy. The Eagles should pursue that guy. And then Howie Roseman comes out of left field, and boom. We didn't even know that guy was, we didn't know Jay Ajayi was available for a trade at the trade deadline. Boom. Last year, we didn't know C.J. Gardner-Johnson was getting shopped around by New Orleans, and the Eagles were able to trade for him. We didn't even know Ronald Darby was going to be traded back for Jordan Matthews. Although I did predict Jordan Matthews to Buffalo. I didn't think they were going to get a cornerback back. I thought they were going to get just a draft pick. And then who cares about Jalen Reagor? He stinks. Stinks here, stinks in Minnesota. Who cares? But Howie Roseman making a move is just about the most definite thing that's going to happen. I would even go for to say this. Don't be surprised if there's two more moves. There's one before training camp, and then there's one during preseason. That is something I think is definitely going to happen. Like I said, the question is what? We all talk about Budda Baker. Is that a reality? Is that something that the Eagles could really do? I don't know. I think Budda Baker would like to come to Philly. I think the Eagle fans would love to have him. I think the Eagles would probably love to get him. I don't know if that's the route that they'll go. But really, when you look at it, and you want to try to figure out who's Howie Roseman going to go after, it's probably going to be somebody, most likely, and this is what he usually likes to do, it's most likely going to be a younger guy who's in the final year of his contract. So Howie's going to look, he's going to say, all right, this guy's in the last year of his contract. We get him for 1 year, figure out if we want to resign him or not, and then bing, bang, bang, boom, that's what Howie does. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, perfect example. Now, I think the Eagles had every intention after trading for C.J. Gardner-Johnson to get him signed. I don't think the Eagles expected him his first year as a safety to lead the league in interceptions and to play as well as he did, where he actually outpriced himself or what he was asking for the Eagles, and it kind of took them off the market. Really, that whole C.J. Gardner-Johnson thing is weird because if you look at it, he wanted a lot of money. The Eagles wanted to sign him, right? They signed Bradbury. They were prepared to cut Slay. I think they were prepared to do that. Bradbury, they would go with, he's a little younger. And then they wanted to bring C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. And I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson outpriced himself. The Eagles said, okay, well, he's asking too much money. Let's get Darius Slay, let's get him satisfied so we can keep two of the three defensive backs we have. Then C.J. Gardner-Johnson didn't get the money he wanted at open market, and by the time he was willing to negotiate with the Eagles already spent the money on Darius Slay, so he was gone. But usually in those instances, the Eagles find a way to make it work. You look at the DeAndre Swift trade, right? DeAndre Swift's coming in the last year of his contract. The Eagles are already trying to sign him to a multi-year deal. He wants to play out the last year of his contract, which is probably going to price him out of coming back because I think he's going to have a monster year. However, when you look at Howie Roseman and you look at the players that he usually brings in, it's not people that usually are on our radar. It's not usually the people that we hear in the rumor mill. It's usually somebody we didn't expect. So if you want to figure it out, go look at different people or different players on different teams that could be in the last year of a contract, maybe at safety, maybe at a linebacker, things like that, and we'll see. Now, the other thing, I do think Howie will make a move. I think that there's probably two moves coming, okay? Now, the other thing I'm going to talk about, we're talking about last year of contracts, but there's a guy who's in the last year of his contract with the Philadelphia Eagles that I don't think gets enough credit for the type of player he is. He isn't a superstar. He isn't going to even be necessarily a starter, but from an experience standpoint and from a depth piece, I think Jack Driscoll needs to be resigned by the Eagles, okay? Jack Driscoll, there was an article in Bleacher Report, and they were talking about players on each team that they're going to have to make decisions about. And one of them was Jack Driscoll. This is what they said. After locking up Hurts, the Eagles are left with very few viable extension candidates. Players like center Jason Kelce, edge rusher Brandon Graham could be considered, but if the Eagles were determined to keep them beyond 2023, they would have signed them to more than 1-year deals. In general, if General Manager Howie Roseman is going to extend anyone early, backup lineman Jack Driscoll would make a lot of sense. He is primarily a depth player. He can play multiple positions and is extremely viable insurance policy. I think that Jack Driscoll I think the Eagles should jump on this and try to get him signed to an extension. Because, like I said, there's not many guys like the Eagles. There's not many teams like the Eagles where you have literally a line that is so good and so deep, where your backup players have played multiple positions, have had multiple starts, and give you that depth. I think the Eagles need to do it. Now, it looks like the right guard situation is probably going to be Cam Jurgens. I think he has the inside footing to win that job. Steen might take it over, but to have depth, a guy that can play guard, that can play tackle, like Jack Driscoll, is huge. And I think if the Eagles could sign him to an extension now, that would be a great move. I'm all for Jack Driscoll. I think he's a bit underrated, to be honest with you. I don't think he gets enough attention. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've talked about this. I was talking all week with my dad and my uncles and stuff, because my whole family was with us, and I think the Eagles' offensive line is one of the most underrated offensive lines in the history of the NFL. I mean it. You look at the 80s with Washington, right? The Hogs. They were great. Then you look at the 90s with the Dallas Cowboys. They were absolutely great. But when you look at the Eagles and their offensive line, I think you could put them right up there with those teams. I think they've had that good of an offensive line the last 5, 6, 7 years. And if the Eagles would have won a Super Bowl, I think they would have gotten a lot of credit. Yes, there's been some moving parts in it, but the foundation of Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, they remain strong. They're the same. Now you're adding guys like Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata that replaces Jason Peters. But this offensive line has been good for many, many years. And I think the Eagles have one of the better offensive lines in the history. Jack Driscoll could possibly start at other places. And if the Eagles could sign him to an extension now and have him as a depth piece for the next few years, I think they absolutely have to jump on it. The Eagles like to take advantage of players in the last year of a contract when they trade for other players, but they also like to take care of their own. I think Jack Driscoll you would probably be able to get him at a good price, and I think it's something the Eagles definitely need to do. I might actually have a video later on today. I'm feeling pretty rejuvenated, pretty ready to go. I'm also going to see The Flash tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. But with that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. I'm going to ask people, because I don't know, maybe it's like, I don't know how Twitter works, and maybe it's just me and what I view, but is like UFO stuff coming up like all the time on their Twitter feed? Like, all I have on my Twitter feed is football and UFO stuff. And I look at UFO stuff on Twitter sometimes, not that much, but it's like all over the place. Is this happening for everybody else? Are we getting ready for the fake alien invasion? Denzel Washington out. Peace.